Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. It's been a few weeks since I've been feeling like I need to declutter, and part of that is also decluttering my bookshelves, my TBR. I've had this itch to go through my shelves and chuck some stuff out and send it over to the next lucky reader. Maybe really looking at the books I have on there and if I still want to read them, if it's just one of these books that I'm just telling myself that I should be reading it. And yeah, I've just felt like I needed some fresh start in terms of my TBR as well. So since last year I completely missed out on doing the spring cleaning challenge that the lovely Sarah the Dreamer created, I figured I would do it this year. And I will be going through these prompts and seeing if I want to get rid of some books using these prompts. For this challenge, I'll be using both my physical TBR and my TBR on Goodreads to do a very big decluttering, if you will. So let's get started. The first one is pick a book that's been on your TBR for too long. So these are my current books on my TBR, physical books on my TBR. And for the first prompt, I'm kind of conflicted, obviously. I've looked on my spreadsheet of the books I bought, and I think the oldest one I have is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I do think I feel like I want to read it once in my life, but I don't know when I have the time for this big chunker of book, and I don't know, I've lost the first motivation to read it. It's big, and I think in the spirit of really cleaning out, I think I'm gonna get rid of that one. I think it's the first physical book that I ever got when I moved here, so I think maybe it's time that it goes. The second prompt is pick a sequel you just won't get to. So I don't actually know if I have any sequels on my to be read list. Yeah, the Elena Ferrante books, I think in my last spring cleaning thing, I've actually put them back to my parents' house. It's kind of put down for the time being. I'm not really planning to read them anytime soon. And the two last Aragon books, I actually got rid of them physically and decided to, at some point, if I will read them, I will read them on audio. Let's see what else we have. So the only other sequel I've found on my list is actually the second book in the Armand Gamache series by Louise Penny, and I will read it, so I guess I have nothing for this category. Prompt number 3 is pick a book by an author you've fallen out of love with. So I've been scrolling through a bit and I haven't really found any book by an author that I don't want to read anymore that I've read before, but I will probably get rid of White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. I think my time and money will be better spent on reading Right Rage, which I also have on my TBR. So I'll probably get rid of that one and straight away read White Rage. Number 4 is pick a book you've been keeping on your TBR because of the cover. I mean, I follow BookTube, so I have a lot of these on there. I don't know, to be honest. I think I will probably get rid of 1,000 Ships by Natalie Haynes. It's gotten a lot of buzz, at least from quite a lot of channels that I watch, and I don't know. I think it's probably a really interesting book. It's this perspective from the women's side, all kinds of women and goddesses that are somehow involved in the Trojan War. But I guess I just lost interest. I mean, the cover is amazing, but yeah, I think that one will have to go. Prompt number 5 is pick a book from a genre you never reach for. So for the book from a genre that I hardly reach for, this one jumped into my eye. This is Metropolis by Thea van Habu. She was the wife of Fritz Lang, who did this groundbreaking, crazy cool sci-fi movie called Metropolis. Maybe you've heard of it. And this is basically the novel of it that she wrote, but apparently a lot of people are criticizing it that it reads more like a screenplay and it's not really a novel, and you know, you might as well just watch the movie. And I think the movie is really cool and groundbreaking for the time it was made. But now that I'm looking at it, like, sci-fi isn't something that I reach for a lot. And while I love the movie, I'm not really sure this is something I want to read in written form. So I think that one will probably go from my list. Prompt number 6 is pick a book a friend recommended and it sounded really good at the time, but you're not too sure anymore. So for the recommendation prompt, I think I'm gonna go with this book that my parents lent me. And again, it's one that I am interested in, but I haven't found a time where I felt like I had the brain space for this, and don't think I will in like the next nearest future at least. And it's definitely not a book that's running away from me. I can just bring it back to my parents whenever I can do that again. And it's this really interesting book following a man who ends up doing a terrorist attack in Paris. And it goes into the psychology of extremism and how people get to a point where they are able to do such horrific acts. It's definitely one that I want to read, and it feels like it's important to read about, but I just can't find the brain space for this kind of tough content right now. So it will go back to my parents' house, and whenever I'm ready for it, it will be there. Prompt number 7 is pick a book you put on your TBR because of the hype. In terms of the book that I have on my TBR because it's really hyped, I think I'll kick off this one from my TBR. This is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. It's been making the rounds a lot in 2020. I've put it on my TBR because it's supposed to be kind of a twist on And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, also isolated circle mystery. I've also heard quite mixed things about it, especially from people whose opinion I value and who also love Agatha Christie like I do. And I think from the things that I've heard so far, I'll probably take it off my list just because if it's not that good, I'm okay with, you know, just if I want to scratch that itch, I can just read And Then There Were None. So although it is quite hyped and has been compared with And Then There Were None a lot, I'm kind of cautious, and I think it's okay for me to get rid of it from my Goodreads TBR. Prompt number 8 is pick a book you tried to read but just couldn't get into. Is this one? Guys, I think I will be getting rid of this one. The Secret History by Donna Tartt. So much hype with this book. As you can see, I tried reading it, couldn't get into it. As you can see, it's one that I started reading, I think it was last autumn, and I really haven't got further than that, and from what I've read so far, it just hasn't grabbed my attention. I feel kind of sad because I actually bought this one new, but I think I can sell it and give it to someone who wants to read it straight away, and it's just lingering on my shelf, and now that I've started it, it hasn't really given me a reason to pick it back up, so I think I'll have to say goodbye to this one. Prompt number 9 is pick a classic or an older book you just won't read. So my classics are actually mostly on this shelf. Well, mostly. There's also some down there, but I think for last year's classics challenge, I kind of put them all here to have them all in one place. As a classic, I probably won't read and I should get rid of. It's probably this poetry collection, these two poetry collections in one bind up by Rilke. I tried to get into his poetry last year, just didn't grab me, it didn't speak to me, and I don't think I'm going to miss this one staring at me on my shelves. So yeah. And finally, prompt number 10 is pick a book that you have no idea what it's about or how it got on your TBR. So I just found a book that I have no idea why I have it here. I have no clue what it is. I don't remember who talked to me about it. It's a mystery book, The Dead Letter, and I know virtually nothing about this. Who's this author? Oh, I think I saw it in the context of like women mystery writers in the 19th century. So it's obviously a pen name, and it's a pen name for a woman. Set in the political turmoil of the Reconstruction era. Well, it's quite short, so I might give it a go nevertheless. I don't know, let's look further. So I just found another really obscure one. And this book it's kind of an unusual book because it's actually kind of a solo role-playing game. So I just remembered after looking at it that I heard from this from more like the board game role-playing side of the internet, of YouTube. And while it does look fascinating, in principle you're just a vampire who's been living thousands of years. I don't know, it seems to be like part journaling, like a journaling kind of role-playing game. So it's like as if you would be this vampire who's lived thousands of years and is journaling what's happening in the world. And it sounds fascinating and it looks gorgeous. I've seen the book in real life, like it's really pretty, but I don't see myself doing any solo role-playing anytime soon. And though I love the concept, I think I will I'll just leave my TBR on Goodreads because it's just taking up too much space. So that's it. That was the spring cleaning challenge. I certainly thought it was very satisfying to get rid of some of the mental brain clutter I have around my books, the books I own, the books I have on my Goodreads TBR. And yeah, I encourage you to do the challenge as well if you want to. All the information and the original video will be linked down in the description, and do let me know if you do the challenge as well, because I think there's something really intrinsically satisfying about both getting new books but also getting rid of some books for some reason. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you read great books these days, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!